Alright, everybody, we are back with some more TNT Championship 2026. I am Delphius. We've got R22 versus Arilou in the round of 8 here. It's going to be a best-of-7 match to see who will advance to play in the Grand Finals next weekend. In the bottom left, we got R22. In the top right, we've got Arilou. And another plug for the finals. I'm wrapping up as many replays that are still outstanding today. And then I think Tuesday night I will also stream a couple more. But yeah, next Sunday, 2 p.m. EST, will be the Grand Finals. Very excited to finish off this tournament strong. I'm excited to see who makes it there. And if R22 can maintain the crown, or if a new contender can possibly take the throne. At this point, I feel like it's I think it's just the usual suspects that are left, right? There's Deep Sea. There's Tonka, Melvin Fro. I'll have to look. I think that might be the round of 4 match. I have to double check. But if you want to keep up a little bit more with the tournament, please join the Discord. We have more updates there. I haven't been able to stream this tournament as much as I would have liked to. R22 with this classic raccoon opening. And yeah, and keep in mind that there have been other folks covering the tournament as well. Tickle Bandit does not put his videos on YouTube, but if you check out his Twitch, there's plenty of extra Tooth and Tail there. He's got a different casting style than I do too, so you can get a different perspective of what maybe the players are thinking or how it works. And here comes Arilou with a pretty aggressive opening here, trying to punish that fast tier 2 Warren. And the road between bases really helping make this work. Okay, Arilou almost not getting the pick, but ends up being able to commit to it and knock that out. And as Ziggy pointed out, yeah, we've got a 10-year anniversary coming up next year, right? So maybe we'll have to figure something out. If memory serves, the game came out in like August or September of 2017. So I remember because I went to TwitchCon that year, and I actually ended up hanging out at the Tooth and Tail booth and chatting with Andy Shads and some of the other community members at the time quite a bit. I was pretty much working the booth for Pocketwatch at that point. It was kind of funny. But yeah, very excited for the finals. I have not confirmed what the casting lineup is going to be yet. Kipo, unfortunately, might have a conflict, but we'll see. But I got some other folks I've reached out to invite onto the stream and have a good show, so I'm very excited for it. Squirrel Toad from both sides here. Arilou getting his expansion up a bit quicker. We'll have to let this one breathe for a minute. So again, thanks everybody for tuning in. One of the round of 4 matches, as I say that, Arilou is coming in. So I can't yap about where the tournament's at any longer. Let's see, he's just gonna clash in, Toad versus Toad. Pretty even trades there. But Arilou is gonna clean up that raccoon and has a handful of squirrels left over to continue the pressure, grab a Warren, but gonna retreat, try to save these last few squirrels if possible. This road is actually making a big difference on this map. Like, it looks like a relatively large map, but it's not as much as you think. Well, I guess that's not true. I mean, the territories are practically touching, but that road does matter for those of you who just kind of watch and maybe forgot. The road does give a speed boost to ground units a little bit, so you run a little faster on that. Yeah, so state of the tournament right now, there's one other round of 8 game that hasn't been casted. I'm trying to get those replays. I plan to cast that on Tuesday night. One of the round of 4 games has already been played. Replays are available, but I'm trying to give Q the opportunity to stream that. It sounded like he was interested in streaming that today. So if you are watching right now on Twitch, keep that in mind. He'll probably stream later. If he doesn't, I'll pick it up on Tuesday. So Tuesday night we'll do a little stream if I can get some replays. And then the other round of 4 match is a little behind schedule, but the players are getting it coordinated. They might just end up playing it the day right before the finals. So we might not know what the finals are going to be until the last minute. But that's okay. I'm just really happy we were able to stay on schedule generally. Here comes R22 with a big attack, though. Lots of toads blown up. Are there enough squirrels left over? Absolutely not. The cams and Falcon's going to push this back. I feel like Arilou handled that very nicely. His tier 2 stayed alive, and R22 actually just on nothing but tier 1 at the moment. So a little bit of a weaker unit. Alright. Jason Blade sending me some thumbnails he's making for the VODs. Thank you for that. Ooh, big attack from Arilou. This might be a game. I mean, the Cam Falcon crashing. One Cam still remains. The thing is about Mass Tier 1 is they just reproduce so quickly. So it's actually really great, because a lot of times, it's not necessarily the first engagement, it's the second engagement that matters, right? Like, imagine the armies trade pretty evenly. That second one coming in will do the trick, but R22 just going to give it up there. Just decides that they're too far behind. So Arilou takes match number 1 in this best of 7 against the current champion, R22. I'm curious how long the season went. Again, I was talking about this in a previous VOD, but R22 up top in the left, Arilou in the bottom. We've listened to Quartermaster all day. I mean, it's not a bad soundtrack, but I wish I had like an option to just randomize the music. That'd be nice. Okay, so what was our whole timeline for this event? Okay, hang on. As this game's getting pulled up, I want to see how long we took. So the rules were... Okay, we started April 18th. Was when group stage began. April, May, June, July? Yeah, it was really like 3 to 4 months. How many weeks is that? April 18th to July 3rd. It's about 11 weeks. 11 to 12 weeks. Alright, sorry. A little organizing today. Yeah, so what, 11 weeks? I feel like that's pretty good. I mean, I've heard arguments too to crunch in the group stage timeline a little bit more. What's nice is that once we get to round of 16, the players get a lot more consistent, right? As far as like timelines on completing matches. So I am pretty proud of our community here that we stayed on schedule, and it sounds like we will be able to hit our finals timeline of next Sunday, July 5th at 2 p.m. EST. Tune in live to Twitch TV. It's gonna be fun. Alright, Snakes coming over from R22. A lot of tier 2 in this game so far. Good defense. Do you need how many snake tags kill this? At least 2, right? Alright. I feel like that was fun. Ooh, the pig! Oh, okay, getting that pig. Doesn't say. I feel like that was okay, but losing the pig, I think, really pushed that one over the edge for R22, so. Just doing a little behind-the-scenes things. All right. Where are we at this game? Looks like we're getting into some expansions. A lot of Tier 2. Okay, I think I've got... Yeah, I've got the finals timeline locked in with everybody, so I am going to go ahead and just announce that on the Tooth and Tail, the Pocketwatch Discord later. Looks like we're getting into some second bases this game. So although R22 did get the better end of that early attack, it seems like they've been able to leverage that into getting a little bit of an economy lead as we're progressing into the 16 farm era. Ooh, Arilou trying to be sneaky here with some moles, but R22 should have spotted that just barely. Yeah, look at this. They're going to rally over, and then Arilou's going to move back. Arilou did just force R22's army out of position, though, for this attack angle. But R22 is going to see it and come back in time. Yeah, I have locked it in with all the players, which I'm glad for, because I've been saying it over and over in the spots. But next Sunday, July 5th, 2 p.m. EST, will be the grand finals. Very excited for that. I got one more message to send. Alright, big attack coming in. And it looks like R22 repelled it pretty well. Gonna chase down Arilou. How much are they gonna commit though? It doesn't seem like a whole lot. Alright, hang on 1 second, guys. I'm almost done messaging people in Discord. Okay. Oof. Yeah, 10-year anniversary tournament. We gotta get something going for that. I gotta coordinate with Andy. Andy made the game, if anybody isn't clear when I mention Andy every once in a while. Yeah, from Pocketwatch Games. But okay. Kind of getting low economies here. It's been difficult for either player to really commit to farming up that second base completely. So might just fast forward for now. It looks like both players are just slowly trying to get those farms back up. This is a very important match. I mean, Arilou leading the series 1-0. The winner of this advances on to the round of 4. Fight against the winner of Deep Sea and this guy, which I should be able to cover that game Tuesday night. They didn't post the replays, but working on getting those from them. So we'll have it available then. Also, big shout out to Jason Blade Plays on Twitch TV, who is making me some thumbnails for some of these last videos here, so really appreciate that. The thumbnails make a big difference, and I hear that a lot on YouTube. I know I just have my very generic, like, little template-y thumbnail, but yeah, I mean, people just kind of click on things a lot more if it's a cooler thumbnail. I've got data to prove that even on this channel. Grab that campfire, might as well. And the wolf is on the way for Arilou. So where did he hide it? Right there, in the middle of the base. R22 hasn't scouted it yet, but should be able to see it now. Yep, there it is. Sees the wolf. Sees a ton of tier 2. And Arilou should maybe try to get into some chameleons. I don't know. He's got a lot of falcons. Falcons can receive the wolf buff quite nicely as well. I guess really the only unit Arilou has that isn't that great with it would be the skunk. I don't think the skunk benefits from the wolf buff as much as some other units do. Squirrels surprisingly are pretty great with it. You can buff a ton of tier 1 at the same time as well with that wolf buff. The wolf buff impacts more units of lower tiers. So it'll buff more tier 1 and then a little fewer tier 2 and then a lot fewer tier 3. Alright, R22 thinks he's ready. This is a good opportunity to attack. 360 food wrapped up in that wolf that is not quite here. I've lost a million games to Tooth and Tail because of this situation exactly. And this might just be R22 running him over. Yeah, here's the wolf, but it's too late. I think that should just be it. Yeah, losing that base, losing the army. That's going to be a GG here. R22 is going to tie things up. All right. Game number 3. Let's go. Alright, up top in the left we got R22, and in the bottom right, Arilou. It's very similar decks. Exactly same decks. I suppose exactly the same is very similar indeed. So how's the map looking? Who would you rather be in this spot? That's always a fun thing to think about. Is it Arilou? Like this second base would be kind of tough to attack into, but Arilou does have to juggle different areas of engagement. Arilou also has a campfire, which is nice if he chooses to take it. This base is a lot more sus. You know, for stone throws away from R22's base, but there is a nice little pond out front kind of protecting it. Meanwhile, R22 just has a straight up pocket base. So this is a very defendable position. I think this third base is going to be tough. You know, if we do get into a late game, that's probably where the no man's land will be. Meanwhile, we've got this little ninja base over in the 8 o'clock that could kind of go anywhere. A little bit of a wild card. We'll see if somebody decides to try to sneak that one in or not. The ramping does favor R22 a little bit. However, keep in mind there is a ramp right there for Arilou to more easily get to it. If this was not there, this little ramp, then this would be actually a pretty good base for R22. You know, Arilou would have to really commit to attacking it. But both players decide for an 8-farm double into an expansion, so let's see if we get the gentleman's handshake all the way up to 16 farms. And a lot of high-level players really do prefer to play this way. And that looks like what we might be having here. Arilou's gonna come in. Okay, so one extra Warren, but mostly just continuing to farm. Probably just match suit, grab a Warren, continue to farm. And the decision, actually sells that Warren, just showed it to R22 so he knows he can't attack, and then now he's gonna get into some better tech with that tier 2. I like that a lot. But really the decision kind of comes now, right? Like, even if your opponent is going 16 farms, you can kind of branch off into like a tier 3 or into a bunch of tier 2 and stay on like 12 farms or so. So I'm curious if we're going to see that, or if we're going to just go ahead and continue right up to 16 farms. I was wrong, by the way. It sounds like QQ has been putting his videos on YouTube this season, so I need to... I have a little playlist on the channel. I try to, like, get everybody's videos in one place. And what's nice is it still, like, counts for their channel, but you can just go to my channel, open up that playlist, And let me try to round all that up after the stream today and get that all organized there for everybody. That way you can just kind of put that playlist on, have some Tooth and Tail in the background while you're holding the clothes or whatever. Falling asleep. I wonder how many people fall asleep to my streams. If you put on Tooth and Tail streams to fall asleep to, let me know in the comments. I do that all the time with stuff. It's actually a bad habit. I gotta get out of it, but I've been doing it. I used to do it a lot more with StarCraft. Lately, I've been doing it with like Magic content because I've been a little more tuned in with Magic lately. I wonder if people think that's an insult or not. I don't know. I think some people do, some people don't. Like, Ambiguous Amphibian is a big fall asleep to guy for me. I like playing RimWorld. Oh man, it'd be great if I had some time to play some RimWorld today. Ooh, these snakes are gonna get a lot of bacon here. Some squirrels are in position to defend, but should still be able to kill a couple pigs. He is gonna be able to kill one pig there. It takes 2 stacks of poison to kill a pig. Yeah, one of the top comments on like one of Ambiguous Amphibian's new RimWorld videos was something like, "Awesome, I can't wait to fall asleep to this 10 minutes at a time for the next 2 months." Like, yep. RimWorld addiction definitely has been a recent thing for me. I don't know if recent anymore. I would say over maybe the last 6 months or so. It kind of hit me hard. I tried getting into RimWorld like years ago, and I didn't really get it. And then I tried again, yeah, 6 months ago or so, and I got hooked real bad. I'm excited to beat the game. I do Naked Brutality, which is where you come in with just one person and they're naked, and you just have to start from scratch. I really enjoy that. Like, it's just satisfying, like, finally making some clothes and making a bow and, like, getting into better armor and stuff. And then I also do, I do Cassandra Classic, and then Commitment Mode, so there's no reloading, no saves coming. But I find the very beginning of RimWorld to be quite enjoyable, trying to get everything situated. I think I've got it down to a science at this point, but I still haven't actually beat it. So you beat the game when you either go, I think you could build your own rocket ship, or you go find the one that they tell you about, and then like defend it against bandits and stuff. But here we go. Big attack from Arilou, just wasted 60 farm there, 60 food unfortunately on that mill. Immediately went down. Arilou was trying to do what we call a tank mill. Where you take a mill so it kind of screws up with the control of the opponent's units, and they waste a little bit of damage on it. But wow, Arilou taking that fight pretty handedly. He needs to be careful and not get too greedy here. He wants to make sure his wolf stays alive. Losing the wolf's a big deal for R22. So Arilou gonna come home from now. Arilou's also got all the mills on the map, which is very important. I like the fact that he just took that, like, 8 o'clock base. He doesn't even necessarily need to invest in it, but just kind of the peace of mind knowing that that base is not there. Being a ninja base for his opponent is pretty strong. I mean, I think that's gonna be it. Yeah, R22's gonna tap out. Really nice, nicely done there from Arilou. Good attack. Good engagement. It's quite close, but I think what really made the difference was Arilou kept his wolf alive. All right, let's get into game number 4. Spawning in the top right, R22, his opponent, Arilou, in the bottom left. And has Arilou been playing the same deck each game? I don't remember, but I think Arilou is a one deck to rule them all kind of player. This is a huge map, by the way. We finally see like a really big macro map. It looks okay for both sides. I don't know whose side I like better. I mean, I feel like Arilou probably. Yeah, it's gonna be really hard to attack Arilou. I don't even know how you do it, because imagine Arilou takes all these bases over here. R22 is gonna have to attack from like this angle, but I mean, you don't want to walk through this choke right here, or like if you attack this base, I guess maybe this is okay. If you came in like that, yeah, that's okay. Meanwhile, R22's got just a row of mills in line, so I think both players have good access to 4 bases here. I think I favor Arilou for the map gen a little bit. I wouldn't even say slightly. I think there is a pretty clear advantage. Like, being on the double high ground here, this is probably where the point of contention is going to be, like right in this area, if we do get to a big macro game. So I think that his spot is a lot better than this. This is very easy to attack into. There's no weird walls or anything like that. Ooh. Arilou getting punished for trying to make a quick mill. Always love that move. So especially in a big map like this, you want to get your expansion going as fast as possible. So R22 just builds a mole war in there, forces the cancel on the mill, but pretty sweet. I also think raccoons are going to be a big deal. Ooh, interesting mole. Is that unintentional? That can't be intentional. Oh, he was just thinking about doing the same thing to his opponent, but realized they had squirrels there, so that makes sense. The raccoons will favor R22 a little bit, though. I think if this is just going to be like a sit back and get up to like 20 farms kind of situation, that's going to matter a lot. And 4 raccoons are an extra farm. I don't know, how many raccoons would you really build? 6? 8? 8 max? 8 would be a lot. I feel like 4 to 6 is probably the sweet spot. There also is this campfire down here, a little bit favored for Arilou. But yeah, what I was talking about earlier was like, there's kind of 2 different schools of thought with high-ranking players. It is, I have the best deck in every situation. I'm just going to grind with that, get really good at it. The upside of that is you're really comfortable with it in a lot of situations. The downside is you're a little bit more predictable by your opponent. And meanwhile, the other end of it is I'm going to use crazy builds, different different kind of random units. And sometimes it's not as powerful, but just, not expecting the balloon or whatever can be a big deal. If here's a big engagement from Arilou, this is going to be a fast game. I don't know if R22 will be able to defend this. Yeah. The cams go down, but the second base gets knocked out. I don't think this is like a straight up... A lot of times the second base goes down, it's just like GG, but I think it's early enough along in the game where that's not the case. And Arilou did pay pretty dearly for destroying that second base. I think Arilou actually kind of lost that fight with the cams dying. And R22's got a big counterattack here. This might be a really quick one, actually. And I spent all this time analyzing this map and thinking about it. And I think R22 just wins right here. I mean, those raccoons staying alive matters a lot. Constant stream of tier 1 from the other side of the map. Yeah, this is just going to be it. Arilou hasn't given up yet, but he should just in a second now. Oh, he's waiting on that last camp. Even if he pushes it back, too much damage. Yeah, GG. R22 ties it up. 2-2. It's a good series. Let's go into match number 5. Alright, R22 in the top, Arilou on the left. And as you can see, Arilou with the same deck, R22 changing it up ever so slightly, dropping the raccoons, adding in the boar. Boar's a great unit. I think it's been a little bit underutilized this season. Just so much HP, so much damage. Definitely the best, like, I'm gonna build a fast tier 3. I think you're going for that boar, right? Yeah, we just gotta give this one a minute to breathe. And this is a weird... it's an okay map. I can see this getting into a 2-base game, but probably not a 3-base unless they start taking like some of these mills over here. These 2 mills right here are just way too close to one another to ever be taken. I'm kind of surprised this is kind of a... Yeah. You got this like horseshoe thing going on, right? Where it's like 3 mills on either side, but realistically it's kind of more just like 2. I think I do like it better for Arilou though. If I'm getting attacked, I would rather it be at my main and not my natural, as weird as that sounds, for a couple reasons. Number 1, grist mills gain HP over time, so if you have a freshly built natural mill, then it's going to be weaker than your main base. Number 2, you're generally more okay with losing the main base or taking damage on it because it kind of starts, you know, going away. 5-minute mark, your first 4 farms die, the pigs die, and then the next pigs will be gone within the next minute or 2. So by that time, your main base is like useless. It's like it's just kind of sitting there, keeping you alive, I guess. I mean, literally the way to win a game of Tooth and Tail is destroy all the opponent's gristmills and campfires. So it does matter, and then when it's like a little bit later on, you can kind of use it as like your tank mill, you know, which is kind of cool. So both players getting into that second base, and Arilou looking for the cams. R22 trying to find some action, probably gonna kill a pig or 2. Squizzard in the early game is going to be great, especially because Arilou also invested into that tier 2. But defender's advantage is pretty big. Yeah, kills 2 pigs. Pretty good attack. I think that was worthwhile. I mean, he lost a lot of units, but killing those pigs is frustrating because Arilou probably will never rebuild those. So you got to think about, like, all the lost mining time of the pigs being dead right now, but also the fact that, you know, you can essentially count all that food left on that farm as also gone. Yeah, he does decide to take that back. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. You know, you've got fresh farms right here on the next base. Might as well just use those, but I guess that one still had a lot of wheat left on it, so not the end of the world. Ooh, R22 smartly stands on top of that warren and verifies that it is chameleons. And probably not going to be happy about that. Chameleons are good against Squizzard. You know, Arilou's Squirrel Mole Cam is definitely going to beat Squizzard. Lizards are just kind of bad against other melee units. Nice scout there from R22. So, what is going to be the decision here? Yeah, going down on Lizards a little bit. Getting into Skunk and more Squirrel. Skunk's a good idea. But I think Arilou's just kind of putting together the better army right now. Falcon's on the way. Might fast forward this a little bit. We're just going to be building up for the next minute or 2. Really just trying to keep... Really, what's going on here is all just being told at the top of the screen, right? We're mostly just getting into more tier 2. Arilou trying to get up to that full saturation on the second base. This is a very cautious mid-game development from both sides. You know, you're trying to juggle not getting out-teched, out-army comped, out-farmed. You know, they're both having to play very reactionary to one another. And again, you know, Arilou's never probably going to take that last farm, so R22 has been enjoying a very slight economic advantage. Which does matter. Arilou is going to compensate for that with a third base. And I do think Arilou is a much better third base than R22. R22 can take this one way over here. But again, I mean, it's like Arilou would have to really commit to attacking it, though, to be fair. Like, if Arilou's going to march his whole army through this marsh here and attack that, he's pretty much all in. Like, he's got to win the engagement because R22 is going to trap his units there. So I guess with that considered, that third base is not that bad at all for R22. I think it probably just won't ever get attacked. Love to see, though. Okay. Again, just still building up, and here's that boar, but I do think Arilou's going to have the better late-game army. Like, I feel like the boar is more of an early game tier 3, as weird as that sounds. Like, if you're going to like, rush into a tier 3, the board does a good job of that, but I think with the wolf buff, you know, and like, the problem is the Falcon's just the best unit in the game for scaling, right? Like, nothing else even comes close. And the fact that Arilou's gonna have wolf buff Falcons is gonna matter a lot. So I think if I'm Arilou from here, well, to be fair, there is no wolf, so... Like, Arilou knows about the boar, and again, these guys just know exactly when to attack, so he's attacking right, we saw this in previous game, but the attack's coming right before the tier 3 is out. This is a perfect opportunity, because there's 360 food invested in units that just aren't on the field right now. But R22's Falcons are kind of holding strong here. Gonna take some economic damage, but wow, look at that. R22 is able to push him back. And now the boar might just be the icing on the cake. Arilou losing all the Falcons there was very, very brutal. So this is looking great for R22. Yeah, I think you scale down a little bit on your tier 1 maybe. And this board push, I think, just wins. Like, if I'm R22, I probably just focus fire that mill with that boar, right? Like, if you kill that mill, it kind of doesn't matter. Unless Arilou just totally wipes your army for free in the process. And I just rammed the boar in the front. It's going to tank a lot of damage. Going to get the big explosion. And Arilou tried to do his best to move the squirrels back. All the Falcons still in the air. I think this is an R22 victory here. And Arilou just staying in the game a little bit too long, but there's nothing you can do. So, alright, this is going to put R22 up on match point. This is a best of 7. So, one more victory puts R22 in the semifinals. Going to game number 6. Can Arilou tie it up? Can we get a game number 7? That'd be pretty hyped. Alright, over on the right-hand side, we got R22, and on the left, Arilou. Yeah, and Arilou modifying the deck a little bit, but kind of sticking to this, like, Squirrel Cam, Falcon, Wolf, Shell, which I also really think that's a very powerful way to play. Meanwhile, R22 changing it up a lot. Opting more for what looks like to me of an early game deck, you know, triple tier 1. With some Falcon or Ferret backup. We saw this was the first. We saw our R22 utilize this deck previously. I think against Exnor actually. I think that was the first deck we saw out of him. And at first glance, it does look weird, but if you think about it, it makes sense. The moles are just such a great unit for tempo, so they really allow you to just push an advantage or punish an opponent who's too greedy. The toads are allowing the AoE, the falcons burst damage, the squirrel and raccoon just really good bread and butter units. And I think the point of the ferret is to force the opponent into a bad engagement. We'll see if we even have a ferret built. I don't know what triggers you to think, okay, now is a good time for a ferret. R22 just waiting, by the way, for Arilou to come back home and build something. A lot of players will wait for 120 food. Yeah, and then he confirms his tier 2 first. Because, you know, even if you're at 120 food, I mean, you could just throw down your 8 farm double and be perfectly fine. Or you can go into that tier 2 and do a tier 1, which is what both players do here. Snakes are quite good against raccoons. They can punish the raccoons for trying to be out of the territory, getting that little bit of extra food. You know, I think it's probably 3 stacks of poison kills them. I don't know, maybe 2. I don't know the exact math. I probably should. Double raccoons here for R22 though, so it's just really easy for them to get, like, it's happened to me a lot when I was experimenting with raccoons, where I place my raccoons somewhere like right here or something, not really be paying attention to them, and then the opponent's snakes come up and just kind of snipe them. So raccoons are such an interesting unit. Like, they're kind of worse in a lot of situations than other tier 2, but if you get the right situation, the right army comps, they can really just clean house. And great job there from Arilou. Gonna trade a snake for 2 pigs. Needs to be careful to not bleed off too many other units. You know, R22 really just chasing to get some more value. I don't know if he should have rallied his squirrels. I guess they defend the snakes a little bit, but yeah, that was a great trade. And again, as I talked about earlier, it always kind of feels bad. You kind of have to rebuild in this position, but always feels bad, man, a little bit, because those aren't full farms. Would love to see R22 take this camp. He doesn't know about it. Oh, now he sees it. I'm sure he's gonna be quite happy about that. Yeah, I would take that in a heartbeat. That's gonna help him get back in the game a little bit from being behind from that snake. So, let's see, does he decide to take it? Not yet. There is another campfire here on Arilou's side of the map. But it looks like Arilou's just wanted to finish this off. I don't blame him. I mean, he's one of the players that really has a good understanding of when they have an advantage. And they certainly have the advantage right now, and are not going to just sit around and waste it. Going to try to move in. A little bit of a difficult angle for Arilou, but actually it manages to get his units through that choke point before the fight happened. And most of these raccoons should all die to the snakes. However, that wasn't game-ending damage. Let's see if this last one might live. Yeah, so that was a good trade for R22 on paper. Yeah, Arilou was really hoping that attack would have gone well enough for him to just kind of end the game off of, so didn't quite work there. Alright, Arilou getting a scout. Here comes that campfire, so R22's definitely even things up after that engagement. Cam Snake on the way for Arilou, and I wonder if the big reason R22 won was just the Delta and Tier 2, maybe? I don't know, the Snakes were quite efficient on gunning down those raccoons. 3 of the raccoons died in that engagement. Yeah, keep in mind, for those who aren't super familiar with raccoons as they are a new unit, they do gain a little bit of food when they're just chilling outside of your territory. So that is adding up. I don't know, I don't think the income does a good job of really showing that. But in general, R22 has had a nice, slight income advantage from that campfire and the raccoons. Arilou, though, with the second base up and running. Got that farm on it already. Ooh, needs to be careful with these snakes. Yeah, those are dead snakes. That is a big blunder for Arilou. I wonder if R22 just tries to attack. He's going to lose, actually, 2 raccoons. They are going to die. I wonder if them getting into the territory would help get that poison off a little bit faster. I think it does. But actually not as bad as it looked. That was an even trade. Snakes are good, man. Snakes are good. R22's got to monitor that second base, see how many farms are on there. And actually, you know, I haven't analyzed this map this game, but really no good second base options for R22. Maybe he would try to take the 12 o'clock if he was forced into it. I guess I'd rather try to take this one if I was forced. R22 probably doesn't want to play a late game if they can help it, right? It's just a better map for Arilou to go that direction. And Arilou is going to have the better units as well. Once the wolf comes out, once the falcon starts scaling up. So here comes that ferret. And this is what we were talking about earlier, I bet, where, you know, R22 just wants to bait Arilou into a bad engagement because he has to take the bad engagement or continue to lose units for free from the ferret. So I'm really curious to see how R22 navigates this siege. It's not something we see very often in modern Tooth and Tail. And I feel like the ferret's just kind of this unit like the turret, where it's like, it's nice to have, but the problem is you're probably not going to use it all that often. And it takes up a slot in your deck, right? And you only get 10 or 6 slots, so that matters. Alright, single ferret here. Economies are in the dump. Main base is almost completely fallowed out. R22's got that campfire. That's about halfway done as well. This is tough. This is starting to look like an Arilou victory. R22's got to do something like right now, and you can see him moving out. He will be able to siege this with the vision of the Falcon. So that's going to be great. Needs to maintain that vision. Actually not focusing too much on that, getting ready for the engagement. Here it comes. This is going to decide the game. It looks like Arilou might be holding strong here. No, a lot of these raccoons are still alive on the back end. Yeah, 2 raccoons, a falcon, a ferret, and a dream to make it to the round of 4. And GG, Arilou says that's enough. And R22 is going to advance to the round of 4. All right, everybody, that is it for the stream today. Again, thank you to Jason Blade Plays on Twitch for these wonderful thumbnails. Hopefully that'll get us a little bit more visibility coming into next weekend, where we will be playing the Grand Finals. against the winner of the round of 4 games, which I don't want to spoil. Actually, I can announce that it's going to be R22, obviously. We just saw that. And then QQ covered the other matches, so if you want to watch QQ stream, and it is on YouTube, so I will go ahead and try to round that stuff up. So check out the playlist. I'll do my best to update the playlist. So, you know, everybody else who has streamed Tooth and Tail this season can check that out all in one place. I'll try to get that updated this afternoon. So if you're watching this video on YouTube, the playlist should be updated. It might not be in the perfect order, but I'll at least try to wrangle up all the different streamers who have played games and get in one nice spot for you, or cast games anyways. But that is it, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I will probably stream a little bit Tuesday evening to cover this guy versus Deep Sea. And it sounds like QQ will be casting the round of 4 match, which is ready to go. I think that's Melvin versus Tatanka? That might be it. So tune in for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to watch that VOD. I might be raiding, so I might have to just catch the VOD. But anyways, thanks everybody. Really excited to close out this season in fashion. I'm excited next weekend to cast the finals, so looking forward to it with you guys. And we'll catch you then. Take care, everybody.